got on here again, the second time in a row, much later than planned. Um, but you know what? I won't complain because at least I'm here, okay? And for those that don't know, last night, during that live stream, I didn't even get to the free tarot questions, and my apologies for whomever was waiting in the queue for those. But there were some gunshots extremely close by, and I think it was like the hour of 3 a.m. And not gonna lie, there were so many shots that, and again, they were very close by, that I abruptly had to, unfortunately, leave the live stream, um, just to, do what had to be done in those moments. So, yeah. So, at least I'm here to be able to deliver more messages today because you know what? Um, this life is quite fragile, really, in a lot of aspects, and to a lot of different varying degrees, if I do say so myself. And so I'm just grateful that I know exactly how to be grateful because, quite frankly, with the way current events are going and et cetera, if I was of a different mind, I may not be, in a position that I am in, just even mentally, you guys, right? And I'm talking about it just because, it's something that recently occurred, but also, I'm also mindful if I'm experiencing certain experiences, if I'm overcoming certain challenges, if I'm faced with certain realities, so too are my collective. So, I'd invite you, if you resonate with understanding the fragility of life, and maybe because of some specific recent or maybe even not so recent events, and if you'd like to talk about that, I invite you to shoot your girl an email. The email address is definitely located in that description box below every video that you'll find on the channel. And but yeah, that was some harsh reality to face just a few short hours ago. And so again, that is part of the reasoning why I was getting a late start to this day. So forgive me again for those that maybe were waiting, because I know I was really finishing up with the message, and the next part was, the bell was going to ring, but I didn't make it there. And so hopefully you understand that it wasn't intentional. And you guys, if you missed it, you can hear, I think it's like 37 minutes and 38 seconds into that last live stream, you can hear the first of the series of several shots clearly. So I'm not making it up, right? I would never. So there's that. But I am grateful to be able to come on and share with you again, you guys, messages, and just to, engage with you, enjoy your presence. I really do wholeheartedly appreciate my collective. All right. And thank you for those that appreciate me. Gosh, life be lifing, right? It's crazy. Those shots were so close. I mean, and I was already at the window, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, okay, well, better hop off here and reposition myself perhaps, because you never know what's ricocheting and depending on the trajectory. And again, those shots were so close. So close. So interesting. And they had to have been on foot because I didn't hear any car motor, like even in the streets over. So, um, yeah, it's pretty crazy because it's usually a pretty sleepy town. So there's that. But anyhow, we will get into the Sunday self-care message for the collective, okay? And I see we've got this crossroads energy. I was guided to this particular Lenormand deck and only pulled this one card. 22 could be an angel number of some significance, I do see as well. Talks about change, being at a junction, choices needing to be made, opportunities perhaps to be had, right? On the other side of those choices also speaks to hesitation, direction, independence, and journey. And whoever I'm speaking to today from the collective, you definitely are on a journey. All right. They even made cards about it. So serious. Okay. But uh, collective, you are being called to cleanse your energy at this time. All right. And this is really talking about specifically the chakral aspects of yourselves here. Okay. Your chakras, the chakra system. And so, in line with it being Self Care Sunday, this is really a message constructed along that type of understanding as well. So you'll find there are perhaps information, exercises, and tidbits to assist you with certain aspects of the message as it came through the cards. And the first of those, referable to the energy clearing, is to sit with your back straight. Imagine a cord of light running from the base of your spine up to the top of your head. And these are the chakras, okay? Starting at the base of the spine, imagine a healing light is clearing away all emotional debris. And you guys, you know it's been a heavy theme. We're talking about this pesky residual energy, if I do say so myself. Calling it pesky now because it's still coming through the channeling, right? And so that means that we, to some level degree, are still actioning out this overcoming process of same. Okay. And I do see here, collective, what is going on, at least for those resonating with today's session, or excuse me, today's message, is there is some aspect of soul retrieval being performed. All right. And as you should, okay, because you deserve to heal. You deserve to call your energy back. You deserve your energy to be cleansed. You deserve to transmute and alchemize. Love and light, AA. So please check the description box, babe, for the live stream rules. You got to scroll all the way down so that you'll know them when the bell rings and you can get your free tarot message. Love and light. So slowly allow this light to move up, okay, and clear away anything toxic or negative. All right, and there is the epitome of that residual energy, that residue. Okay, I almost want to call it like scum or scuzz. Like it's like you've done 89% of the work, okay, referable to clearing, cleansing, rebirthing, okay, but keep going, okay, so that you can feel the sense of relaxation and so that you can really have your best foot forward here with your energy cleansed, all right, unblocked, as it were. One moment. Okay. Now, I do see aspects of someone in the collective really fearing that love isn't a thing for them, that love doesn't exist for them, that love is off the table. And your spiritual guidance team, inclusive of your higher selves here, want you to know you do have love, right? How would you not have something you are? Makes sense, okay? And this talks about Hadarian energy, codependency, and boundaries. Collective, it's very important at this time to understand who you are versus who you are not. Who you are is very loved, okay? So please don't believe the hype. And I'm not here suggesting that it's odd or, unheard of, unfathomable, that you should be grappling with this truth situation, with this crossroad situation, referable to the mental state, okay, maybe even the heart space energy. Um, Really, this is talking about a perspective change, okay? On the other side of you changing your perspective, the same set of circumstances that already exist for you, perhaps, don't necessarily have to change. But on the other side of that change in perspective, everything changes. And I know it's maybe a little bit of a tongue twister or a brain twister at this point to even understand what I'm saying, but the sentiment is clear, okay? On the other side of you changing your perception, whether it's about love or anything else, okay, you can create a beautification to that path, to that area of life, okay? So, for instance, love life comes to mind, okay? If you are single, and I get it, single is, it's got its perks just like anything else, right? And then there's other stuff, okay? And sometimes when you're grappling with the other stuff, perhaps it is, 3 a.m. and you're hearing gunshots and you know that you're expected to lie down in that bed alone, right? But here's the thing, you're not alone. They even made cards about it, right? It's just that you're not for everyone. And here's the stitch about that, you're not for everyone because your spiritual guidance team, inclusive of your higher selves, so serious, right? Won't allow for you to be. And so sometimes, we've got experiences that go, we're learning that fact the harder way, okay? And it goes back to perspective. We're here to learn and grow our souls, okay? Can't really get around that. That is the purpose, all right? If you're existing in this realm, just say, right? However, knowing that much, do you have to always ultimately sign up to learn the harshest lessons in the most horrific manners, right? No, you shouldn't have to tell yourselves that that's got to be your lot in life. However, you're powerful enough to do that. And it really does go back to this perception that you carry, perspective that you carry. So, for instance, you could have, like a really large family, perhaps, right? And let's see, you could also have colleagues, whether at school or work, that all truthfully in their heart of hearts, okay, not only claim to know you, but claim to love you, right? And the whole time, while everyone's around saying, hey, hi, how are you doing? Just checking in. Like, oh, I had a dream about you. I was thinking about you. I love you so much. I wanted to check in. And the whole time, your perspective is giving, I'm alone. Nobody loves me. I'm alone. It is dark here. That's exactly what you're going to experience in spite of everyone else around you loving you to the best of their capacities and capabilities. And wouldn't that be sad, right? Because really, the only thing that can turn that around is your perception, not anyone else coming in to love you, and not anyone else who already, again, lays claim to you to know and love you, right? Loving you harder. All right. And that's why it's very important to do this work, to face yourselves in the truth of the matter with authenticity, so that you don't allow yourselves to fall prey to any weaknesses in the mental state referable to your perception. And so that you always know, irregardless of the way it looks, sounds, feels, or hell smells like, right? You are not alone, and you are loved, and you are love. Okay? Now, I know it would be great if you could just automatically have that tangible evidence of same, right? And you could just reach out and touch someone. Here's the sitch. Reaching out and touching someone is not necessarily the equivalent of having someone love you. So there's that. Again, you guys have to build yourselves up to know who you are versus who you are not. Okay? And I do see, along with that mental space, the heart space we are also dealing with. And you are asked to enhance your sense of love and compassion. Change your perspective. See, this card doesn't say, go find more love and compassion so that you can enhance your sense and get a better or different perspective. No, it really starts with you. But here's an exercise that can assist with doing some of this work and keeping yourselves built up, and let's talk about it. It says, relax your mind and body, breathe through your heart. Okay, so we're again tapping into the chakras. Makes sense? Okay, so you're not literally opening your heart up to put lungs inside. Makes sense? Okay, so just give it a chance, okay? Imagine as you inhale that your heart is opening up like a flower and opens up to the sun. Place your palms on your heart, feel your heart beating. Surround yourself with the energy of love, a beautiful shade of pink, and notice how that makes you feel. So you guys, when you do these visualizations and you call in certain aspects, even like into that of colors, right? You are really at a metaphysical level, really doing a lot of good for your souls here. And it's really talking about this alchemy. And even if nothing else, alchemy of perception, perspective, okay? Keep opening the energy as wide as you can. Send out a breath of love and compassion to everyone you are connected with, okay? But send it to yourselves first, all right? Because the thing is, how could you pour out all of you into everyone and everything else and expect you to have any part of yourself on the other side of that? And you guys, we've learned some of that aspect of that lesson in moon cycles past, in old earth paradigm, right? And that's the epitome of being a people pleaser, which is not even a thing to be, because you can't ever, always, and in all ways please anyone or anything outside of yourselves firstly. And to try to do so is really living and thinking, carrying that perception on the outside of balance. And you're being called into balance. All right? You're being called outside of toxicity, whether referable to, thoughts, actions, right? And not ever again operating in that level of toxicity that maybe you crawled out of. Let's be honest about it, collective, right? We're doing the work. I mean, it's part of the course of you're not going to stay where you've just always been if you're doing the work. So it's okay to talk about where we've been, because that is part of our own personal empowerment process, right? It's like, how could you even expect to truthfully celebrate where you're going without ever acknowledging where you've been, right? How unfair would that be to yourselves as well? Because it's like really taking a large portion of, celebratory aspect on your own accomplishments at this, right? That would be like, you run a marathon, right? And the gun goes off, and you're bolting like lightning, and you just zip through that. Sneakers are smoking off the ground, and you just run the race. And at the end, where everybody's like cheering you on, or like throwing the Gatorade on you and ish, and you're just there stoic in the face, like as if you don't even know why you would even be there, let alone that you had most assuredly won that race, right? It would be odd. It would be a lesser than celebration if you had that mindset, and dare I say, perspective about even winning that race in that example. Just an example, okay? Um, and again, you are on this journey because this is part and parcel of how you learn and grow your soul for the divine, which you are most assuredly connected to. You are being called at this time to reclaim the feminine energy. And this is irregardless of what meat suit you are operating in, or the guy, girl, what have you. We're talking the feminine energy, okay? And feminine energy really is the perspective, there's that word again, right? Of, I do not chase, I attract. I do not, hunt, gather, and pillage, right? I receive, because I know I am worthy, and I know who I am versus who I am not. And in spite of knowing all of that, I'm okay with who I am. Okay? So when you get into that type of energy, you are really attracting more love, more people who will connect with you in caring connections. All right? Ones you won't have to guess, ones you won't have to, question their loyalty, their authenticity. And the reasoning for that would be at that point, okay, because I have to say it that way because it's still a general collective, and some people are certain aspects of the path and others, right? So once you get to that point, regardless of maybe you're currently there now, I'm not here word cursing you, you really are so built up that you won't allow yourselves to continue to action out, live out, think out any type of skewed perception, especially referable to your worth. And when you know you are worthy of love, you no longer question, will it come for you? Instead, you become grateful for its existence already in your lives, in your heart space, in your paths, in spite of perhaps physically being alone. And again, for those, I really want to drive it home for those that physically are alone. You go to bed alone and you wake up alone physically. Irregardless, you are not alone. Many of you connect from portal to portal on the other side of laying it down to sleep. Okay? Because again, this life is far more spiritual. You are here as a form of right, rule, and strategy of divinity. Okay? So, of course, you're always ever connecting with it, whether you have full awareness of that or not. Okay? Maybe some of you are gaining clarity about that just now, maybe even through this message. When you get into that femininity, and this is not really talking just about being pretty, just about being, putting a bow on it and, you know, shaking a tail feather, as it were. It's really talking about, okay, I understand that I'm supported by divinity. I understand that I am divinity. I understand that I don't have to blood, sweat, and tear over everything because I am royal divinity. Walking in a meat suit, perhaps, but definitely not a human, having a human-like experience. Okay? So when you build yourselves up, even in thought form, to that, you are really allowing everything else to integrate into this higher state of consciousness where your higher selves are really coming into the forward focus here and allowing this path to be created by seeing, okay, in a beautified way. And this is what is really part parcel of being in that flow state energy where you are able to truly create and at a rapid rate what all you desire. Again, it's called the flow state. We have been having message after message after message, collective, if I do say so myself, regarding waterfall after waterfall. Now we're talking about a river. We're also talking about abundance. We're also talking about change in trajectory, change in energy. And this is par for the course of you really getting outside of the realm of stagnation. Again, outside of it. And maybe this is a little daunting because it may be the first time that you've experienced or will experience that. Some people have, really had some harsh karmic cycles that they've endured. You've taken on the karma of, your ancestors, some of you, your bloodline, lineage, right? You are chosen one out of that lineage, out of that path, out of that realm of stagnation, out of the void space. You're being called out of it and into reclaiming your feminine energy, into this flow state, okay? And I need you to know, collective, your spiritual guidance team really wants you to know, if you should answer this call, you will never again be in that lack. You will never return to this bog of stagnation, okay? So this is giving, I have chills, I'm literally vibrating right now, I can't even get it out. This is giving at least double for your trouble. Whatever you've been expected to sacrifice, whatever you've been expected to change, whatever dark night of the soul perhaps you may have been expected to endure is worth it, okay? Because could you imagine if it's like, okay, so divine's saying do these things and maybe you don't want to do them, or maybe they're hard to do, right? And it's all like, yeah, do them because you'll get a good 3 months of happiness. No, this is, you're never returning to what you climbed out of. You're never returning there if you do this work. We're saying it that way because you're still at this crossroads. It was the first card for the session, pulling for current energies. But again, you are on this journey, okay? And this Rooted Woman Oracle card, Peregrina, okay, is really a figure here that we can talk about that is also simultaneously an indicator of you, your own energy, and where you are currently in the path, in the journey. So let's talk, okay? It says, Peregrina is a pilgrim beginning her journey, looking for something yet doesn't quite know what it is. Okay, it could just be relief. It could just be, breakthrough away from this stagnation. All right, so take what resonates here. Like the Fool in the tarot, she represents innocence. She's open, curious, and ready to embrace life. And yet, she's cloaked and clothed for heavy weather, for a journey which may turn out to be arduous in the end. And this is this crossroads energy, right? It's like you're standing there going, okay, now how you're trying to weigh the pros versus cons. You're trying to get a better grasp at the risk benefit ratio. Okay, it's like, how worth it is it to continue on this journey of enlightenment, of empowerment, of divine breakthrough assistance, perhaps, right? And again, we've already had it come out through the channeling that it is probably not even able to be specifically measured, okay? Because again, general collective message, right? But in spite of that, I can tell you at least this much. It's way more than you're bargaining for. It's way more than you've asked for. It's way more than you can dream up. And it's all great things, nothing to be scary about, right? As she walks through the wild terrain, far from the civilization of which she once was a part, I'm like, where is she? Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Oh, here we go. Over here by the river. That is so synchronistic. Look at all of that. Okay. As she walks through the wild terrain, far from civilization of which she once was a part, the peregrina is shedding the ties which usually bind her. She's discovering a willingness to live in the present and to have no presumptions about the nature of what might follow. So this crossroads and this perspective really driving home this mental space activity. You are actively not only recalling your own energy back, not only reclaiming aspects of your soul fragments. Okay, this is a lot, I know, but you guys are a lot. All right, so if you have questions about anything you hear through the channeling, please shoot your girl an email. I'm just going to continue on because I know a lot of us do understand what's going on at this point, but I'm mindful that we do have some new people as well. So, no worries. There's no such thing as a stupid question if you ask me. Okay, so feel free. Happily, Peregrina isn't undergoing this journey alone. So, like you, collective, okay, cannot say it enough. I like to talk about it. You are not alone, and you are not alone in this journey. It's just that you are not for everyone, though. Because, again, royal divinity walking. What do you want? You want to date a pigeon? No, you don't want to date. Who tried to say they wanted to date a pigeon? Hold on. Leave the birds alone, okay? All right. This card reminds you, okay, or is asking you to be reminded that the ultimate goal of our journey is, again, learning and growing your soul. You're being asked to detach from who you've been and simultaneously what you may become so that you can ultimately discover who you're really meant to be and what you are to do in this world that you are actively co-creating. And again, we're talking new earth energy. Makes sense? We've talked about in the recent past that many of us are builders of same new earth. Okay, you guys are big stuff here. So serious. But you've got to know this. Nobody else can force you to know that, even though it is your truth. That's why we always talk about, truth is just truth. You don't necessarily have to do anything to make it a fact, right? However, if you don't align with it, if you don't understand it, you may live out other aspects of your path because of that lacking of the awareness of the truth, even though the truth exists. Okay, and that's why we talk about checking in, putting your prayers and petitions before your spiritual guidance team, before God, Goddess, before Source, okay, however you subscribe here, right? But you are not alone at this. You are very much supported. And you guys, there could be some significance to purple. This does speak to third eye energy as well. I do believe you are undergoing some aspect of awakening referable to that third eye energy. I'm going to ring the bell in just one moment. So sit tight, okay? Almost there. But I want to drive this home because somebody needs to get this, all right? Um, you've got to stop the comparisons, okay? You are not in a contest with anyone else. If you catch yourselves thinking that way, feeling that way, and dare I say, talking that way, you need to check that, okay? Because you're wasting your time. There is no competition for you other than your former versions of self. And even then, where's the contest? I mean, you've already upgraded. Like, why would you turn back around to tussle? See what I mean? Once you guys grab hold of that right, proper, grounded perception, okay, you move beyond the void space. You move beyond the realm of lack, beyond that bog of stagnation, as it were, as we see in this card here, okay? You're being asked at this time, collective, to create new habits, because I do see that there are some aspects of toxicity referable to your normal goings on here. And an affirmation you can add is, I am strong enough to turn bad practices into good habits. I am the creator of my own life. You're big stuff. Okay, you're expected to live it out like that. You're expected to know that. Change is good. There could be some significance to the number 3. You could be seeing 3s referable to angelic code synchronicities, really cheering you on, really confirming the presence of ascended masters assisting you, as well as divinity in all aspects and forms. I am strong enough to give up bad habits. Change is for good, and I have this. There could be some significance to this aesthetic of the figure drawn here. It doesn't have to be the case. Somebody here could be a coffee or tea lover, I do see as well. Wellness is the next card coming out, indicating my body is a temple. The love I have for my body is growing more and more. It is the temple of my soul and must be treated well. Okay, so spiritual baths come to mind with this one. But take what resonates. You know, you guys, you have the ability to massage your calves. You have the ability to massage your shoulders. You have the ability to stroke your hair and talk to yourselves calmly, lovingly. Do what you know works for you. And often it's the very laundry list that you would wish and almost pay somebody else to action out for you. But listen up. The best way, and the command here, if I do say so myself, is for you to do it for you firstly. And again, the reasoning behind that is because as you do that, okay, you are reclaiming that femininity, that divine feminine energy. I do not chase, I what? Attract. So as you pour into yourselves, you are not chasing, you are attracting. And you've got to have the right and proper perception about that, which really is talking about keeping those faith muscles flexed so that you action it out long enough and authentically enough, okay, to where you actually just are actioning this out as part and parcel of your lifestyle, which again goes back to what? Self-love, self-care, okay? So that when this person or these people come around that, you know, maybe you don't know currently, right? You will know when they do come around, okay, they get it. They match my vibe, right? You know, everybody's out there in them streets trying to see who's matching their freak. But the freak isn't enough to keep everything off the ground for the end all be all, is it? The freak isn't something that really should have any kind of testament to your self-worth or your self-empowerment, right? Okay, so you're looking from now on for people to match your vibe without you trying to change trajectory anywhere towards where you've already climbed out of. Okay, it's so important because you are not to be casting your pearls before swine. That would be a waste of time. That would be climbing back into that bog of stagnation. So serious, okay? And there's those other 3s. Okay, I didn't even see them, but it's so funny. When I saw the first one, on the change is good card, I just knew that you were seeing more than the one, okay? And maybe you hadn't before, but here you are through this message, at least seeing 3 of them in total, okay? So it could be some significance. 3s do speak to divinity. They speak to ascended master presence as well as communication. So divine communication is really incoming for you. Will you receive it? Will you get into your feminine energy to receive, knowing you are worthy of same? Being loud and powerful, this card states, I am maintaining my standards and ideals, and I am proudly loud and powerful about them, as you should be unapologetically. Love and light, Freaky J. Love and light, Sean. All right, so believing in new beginnings, okay, is why we're here. You are being called into, all right, because again, you're at this crossroads, right? It's looking like, oh, it's kind of almost matching this card, like, oh, what are we gonna, what, right? What are you gonna do? You gonna stay here stagnant in the bog, right? You want all this? I mean, I don't know about you guys, I want way more, right? So we're gonna believe in the new beginnings. Plural, multiple, not just one. So serious. I am the director of my life and understand the healthy power of new beginnings. So, just because you find yourselves at the crossroads with a lot of unknown doesn't mean that's punishment. It's, again, a call to get grateful. Get into that attitude of gratitude because you are big stuff creating big things, okay? You have big purpose. So serious. So when you wake up or before you go to bed, collective, list 3 or 4 things you're grateful for, even in the mental space, if you don't want to write it out, okay? Feel the sense of joy for simple things like a warm blanket, a soft bed, or a loving family. Find something different to focus on every day. Again, retraining your brain, which is simultaneously assisting you with reclaiming your, I almost said divinity, but your femininity, your feminine energy, okay? All right. Spend at least 5 minutes focusing on gratitude and joy. Notice how good this makes you feel. Give yourself a hug and bring a big smile to your face as you prepare for the day ahead or get ready for a pleasant night's sleep. Okay? So, you are too much not to be co-creating your paths at this point. So, if you know, you look to the left or to the right of your own path. I'm not saying the world, I'm not saying current events, I'm saying you're going back to your own sacred space, aka utopia, all right, that you're allowed to create. You don't have to ask for anyone else's permission, and the divine backs you on this, okay? So you're creating this utopia, and for those that don't know, utopia really talks about, you know, in this context, we're talking about creating a path that is tailor-made for you in the most pleasant aspect of experiences, expectations, wishes fulfillment, okay? And then, of course, because you are divinity backed by divinity, and more, right? Not even just what we are, like literally tit for tat planting seeds of manifestation from one to the next, okay? The divine's not petty like that. They give you even more, okay? Because you are so loved, because you are so supported, even if simply and solely by divinity, which is way more than enough, okay? So you guys, be grateful, bask in, you know, the aspects of divinity that definitely are assisting you, whether you want to admit that or not, whether you have full on awareness of that or not. All I'm saying is it's really easier to do what you're being asked to, referable to change of perception, referable to the way that you think and feel about yourselves, the way that you carry yourselves. If you are really actioning out, you know, the gratitude, because you really have to get to a certain level of believability in spite of not having tangible access to the manifestation, right? Because how could you get grateful for something or someone if you didn't believe they existed, if you didn't believe that you were worthy, right? So that's why it's really good, you guys, every now and again, check. Are you grateful? When's the last time you thanked the divine for being able to keep a meal down, let alone being able to receive a meal. Because there's people out there right now that would love to eat. They haven't eaten so long that they couldn't even handle, their body physically could not handle an actual meal, healthy as it ever would be, because it's so long that they've had to wait and endure, okay, in that lack, in the without, okay? And I don't want you guys to get to the point where, you know, you feel, keyword, you feel so disconnected from divinity that it becomes harder and harder and harder to really grasp your head around that right and proper, and dare I say balanced perception, right, of the fact that you are not only divinity, but you are, you know, powerful enough to co-create with divine sources. If you really fell prey to the hype, right, the illusion that, oh no, that's not your truth, you might live out a whole entire timeline, dare I say incarnation, in this type of void space, not even able to see the moon. Nobody wants that for you, inclusive of your higher selves. So thank you for being here with me. Thank you for receiving that message. I'm going to ring the bell in one moment here, but I want to close out the session. Your star ancestors, okay, really we're ushering in the energies today. And so this is why we're closing out, I almost said the cycle, we're closing out the session with the message here. You know, you are starseed energy. This is how we speak to the level and measure of you being divinity, for those that maybe didn't know. And your cosmic ancestors, your family of stars in the stars, as it were, are assisting you to create the balance, okay, that maybe your perception is currently lacking. They are assisting you with extracting aspects of your fragmented soul from one incarnation to the next, which is really simultaneously happening. And it goes back to understanding that everything, everywhere, all at once. And you guys, if you've yet to watch that movie, please watch that one. That's a really good one. But they are also assisting you with cutting away, sloughing off aspects of self that no longer serve you, aspects of your ancestral DNA coding that no longer serve you. You are alchemizing a lot of stuff here. You are big stuff, okay? Starseed doesn't even really encapsulate what all you are, as well as what all you are currently, even as you're receiving this message, doing in the spiritual realm, okay? Soul retrieval, wholeness. You could see owls in synchronicity to this message, okay? Confirming that that is exactly what you're doing, and as you should, and you should do that loudly, and you should do that boldly, and you should understand that you are here to live a powerfully led life, okay? Even if you are alone physically, and trust in that. Okay, there could be some significance. Hummingbird, maybe somebody's got a hummingbird tattoo or a hummingbird outside their window that they interact with frequently. It doesn't have to be the case, you guys. But 56 reduces to 11, speaking again of these new beginnings, multiple and plural. But interestingly enough, this card also not only is connecting back to the ancestors in the cosmic realm, as it were, but there are some people here who have a loved one who've passed, a relative, okay, who meant so much to you. And through this message, they are also intending to assist you with reminding you that while they're no longer present in human form, their spirit lives on in many ways. See their face in your living relatives and hear the stories they used to tell, now told by the younger generations. Watch for their presence in your dreams and listen for their messages in your times of solitude. Your loved ones from the star nations are close to you, supporting, guiding, and reconnecting to you. The memories and bonds you shared can never be broken. Healing affirmation with this: I am loved by my ancestors in the stars. Our bond is never forgotten, okay? And so again, chills on this, going back and look at this card, the way it's depicted actually. You are not alone. Look at your cosmic ancestors coming through with the come through and the connectivity. See how, in spite of perhaps skewed perception about this, you are connected to divinity and supported. You are not alone, and you are loved. Okay? It's a thing. All right? But it's up to you to take charge of the mental space, calm it down a bit, ground, and believe. All right. So that's what I have for you. The bell has rung. In the meantime, you guys, I had gone ahead and pulled from one of the new initials decks that I had created for the channel with the specific intention to get either first, middle, or last name initials on the part of this family member, this relative, okay, on the other side of the veil, perhaps, right? However, it could come out that it is your own first, middle, or last name initials, so bear with me on that. Sometimes the energy gets flip-flopped, okay? But the first letter out we have is F. We've also got B. We've also got D, I, Y. Maybe somebody here is a DIYer. Okay, they could be assisting you with that. That's pretty neat. We've got M. We've got T. We've got Q. We've got V. We've got O. And last but certainly not least, R. Okay, so that's, again, intending to connect with the first, middle, or last name initials on the part of the person who is on the other side of that veil. Rooting for you, okay? Last night was crazy though, you guys. I don't know if you were on whenever I was talking about this earlier. But like 3 a.m., I'm on the live stream. And there was like a series of gunshots, which abruptly, I had to abruptly end that one. So sorry for those, because I don't know if anyone's on that were waiting in the queue for the free yes, no. Definitely wasn't my intent, but I definitely wasn't going to stay seated at a window kind of thing, you know what I mean? And had to investigate what the heck. Okay, so I'm getting that's a no here, okay? There could be some aspect of miscommunication. I don't know why the lovers are coming out necessarily. I mean, I know that does speak to communication, but it also speaks to yes and or no. So it's like, okay, it was at the bottom of the deck. But what flew out here in answer to your question, Freaky J, is no, okay? You know what? Sometimes a no is a really positive no, in spite of the way it feels. All right. Best I can. All right. Okay, AA. Okay, let me see here, AA. Yeah, you guys, at 37 minutes and 38 seconds on that live stream, you can hear all of the shots plain as day. And I'm sure y'all wouldn't fault me for repositioning myself. Like, after, like, what, the 7th shot? Like, what the fuck? Yikes. Yikes. Crazy. Alright, so I got the 10 of Pentacles, alright, and I got the World card at the bottom of the deck. I'm pretty sure that's a positive yes. I'm pretty sure that's a great outcome. Pretty sure you're going to have a good time. Just saying, right? That's for AA. Love and light, babe. Alright, let's see. Will you see us in your life this year? Okay. You're very welcome, Freaky J. You guys, do you want to do the moderator session today? If so, what time? Nobody emailed me, so I'm like, I literally happened to ask you guys on a live about this, which is kind of odd, because I was like, can you guys email me? Because I'm not able to do it next weekend, and we're outside of the month of March, so I can make myself available today, even though I've got a lot going on. But communication would be nice, right? Because You know, it's about your readings and stuff. So I'm like, I don't want to force you. I mean, I could do other stuff for sure, right? Like, I don't mean to be all like pushy, but I, you know, I do need communication. So I'm like, Fiona didn't even email me her question. I'm like, okay, so nobody wants readings then. I'm cool. I can do other stuff, I guess. But just checking though, because communication is nice. So if you guys could communicate about that, that'd be great. Because I feel like it'd be helpful. You know what I mean? We got a yes, Sean. Yeah, that was crazy. That's for sure, for sure. That was real crazy. That was real close to, like, what the fuck? And it had to have been on foot because I didn't hear no motors anywhere. And this town is usually pretty sleepy. So I would have heard. Um, all right, well, you guys want to hold off till next month then? Or, because I mean, Fiona already can't do it, right? And I don't know if I'll hear from her today to even be like, okay, what's your question? Um, you know, I don't know. Because I don't want to have like a whole meeting and it's just like one person. Do you know what I mean? Not to be sounding rude. I'm just saying, like, the whole point was I was trying to do it so that I didn't have to like upload umpteen videos because it takes a lot of hours for me to do that. I didn't want you to have to always have your personal business aired out on a live stream. So I was mindful enough to say we could just have our private live. But sometimes, you know, if it's feeling like you gotta force it, maybe you just shouldn't. You know what I mean? We could just make up for it next month, I guess. I don't know. I'm not available to do it next weekend. And that takes us outside of the month. So I don't know. Love Night Green Palace. Green Palace was on. Green Palace, you heard them shots? Set in mind time for the questions. Green Palace don't even care if I survive the night, huh? No, let me stop. Wow. I'll be on my deathbed. Y'all be like, did the bell ring? Thank you for tips and donations. Just saying. I'm over here surviving ish. You didn't hear any of the shots? You must have hopped off that live stream because they're all on there. I know I played it back a couple times. Like, damn, that was really like 6 or 7 shots. Like, damn, they were really close. Damn, they're really loud on the audio. Like, the mic picked all of that up. You know what I'm saying? That's why I hopped off the live, Green Palace. You must have hopped off then. Because I really thought you were one of the ones waiting in the queue for your free tarot. And what had happened was I finished up the message. And before I could look up to be like, okay, what's it, you know, and ring the bell and what's in the chat box, they started shooting. Oh, you fell asleep. Okay. Yeah, it was yeah, because this was like Green Palace. This was like 3 a.m. So yeah, that makes sense. I was sleepy too until I wasn't. Like, what? So for those people that don't gotta lay it down all the way alone at night, be grateful if you can, because some of us have to, in spite of people shooting near our beds. What the fuck? Yikes. Okay. I know I could use a hug. Shoot. Anywho, could be worse. I could have been the target. So there's that. I was just grateful nothing ricocheted. Because shoot, you don't know what? You can't see the bullet usually until you feel it. So, oh, shit, man. All right. Um, let's see here. Raymond. Yes. That's a yes. Raymond. Yeah, that was crazy, man. I'm not gonna lie. If I'm on tonight, it'll probably be on like the actual live stream. But the way I'm feeling and the amount of stuff that I have to do today, I don't know if I'll be on. I almost didn't even come on this morning, but I didn't want anyone worrying about me. But come to find out, no one was worried because I guess no one heard. So there's that. So that's kind, I guess, because I don't really want people needlessly worrying. But so I figured it'd be best if I showed my face after that Saturday night shenanigans. Yikes. Thank you. Thank you, Green Palace. Yes, I'm okay. Thank you. That's crazy. Yeah, they you got to steer clear of the windows, even if they got bars on it. Cause shoot, you don't know, shoot, glass you hit it right, that's gonna go through anyway. Unless it's literally bulletproof, which usually if they got bars on the windows, even that shit ain't bulletproof. That's why they got the bars. But yeah, that's crazy. I'm glad you don't live there anymore, Green Palace. You were listening to my message. You guys, if you have trouble sleeping, don't forget I have that ASMR track that I created with the guides on my playlist, okay? I do want to get into more of that and build that, but I haven't made it there yet because I was like, you know what? A lot of people are not checking that out anyways. But I do see a lot of people talking about they have issues with sleep and stuff. And I know one thing about me is I do tend to put people to sleep if I talk long enough. So So shoot, that might just be what you need if anyone out there having an issue with sleep. So check out the spiritual ASMR track on the playlist of this channel as well, you guys. All right. Let me see who is next here. Lovely ambivalence. And thank you for the hug, Freaky J. I just saw that. um, yeah, that was crazy last night. What are people thinking, bruh? So I don't know. So we got a yes for Raymond. I don't. Do we have any other questions? That's the thing. I like with the walls and stuff. I wasn't sure because it sounded like it was almost like in a diagonal direction. That's why I'm like, I had no idea how to even try to foretell which direction the trajectory would have been in to even. So I don't know. I just I hopped off and I checked on people, places, and things, and I just said my prayers and because I was like, I don't know why I would call the police for what, you know what I mean? Because it's like I got nothing, I saw nothing. All I can say is I heard. But even if they say, oh, that's a such and such gun, who cares? Because you can't necessarily connect it to anyone. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, man, the universe got me and got this situation. And, I prayed for the best outcome for all involved in whatever the hell that was. And I just remain grateful that I'm able to be here to, continue on. Again, it's a tangible evidence for me of the divinity that backs me. And so I'm talking about it not because I'm in some sort of victim mindset, but really because I'm grateful. Okay, and that kind of ties into the message, so take, what you can out of my experiences as well, um, to inspire you to place gratitude where you should be placing it in your own path. Okay, makes sense because we're all connected anyhow. And like I was saying earlier, and I don't know if everyone was on at that time, I'm always mindful, like, okay, if I'm going through these experiences, if I'm going through these things, my collective, so too maybe, right? Not that I'm projecting that onto you, but I do like to come onto the live streams and allow us to talk about some of these things sometimes as we experience them because it does help to alchemize and it does help if you should find yourself in some sort of like victimhood to kind of climb out of that and allow yourselves to remain built up and empowered. Okay, because guess what, out of all of those shots, not one hit me, and I'm grateful. Also, the entire time the gun or guns were going off, I'm protected, and I know that, and I know that I know that I know that, and so I'm grateful. All right, that's what you kind of do. Um, instead of maybe what you would have maybe done in moon cycles past, perhaps, which would be fall prey to the illusion, the fear that I am all alone, I am not protected, I am not worthy to be loved and protected by the divine, right? And then when you get into that, you're really talking about living out that void space, that lower density energy that is not conducive to growing any type of utopia, right? So that's why we talk about these things. And I'm grateful to have an experience, I guess, to be able to empower us towards that utopia. You know, sharing is caring, as they say. So, thank you. Love and light eat me. Thank you for your love and light, and I'm grateful, you guys. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful I'm here, right? So you too should be, and I hope you are, truthfully. Okay. Let's see here. Well, I got 6 yeses come out the deck. All right. Um, I don't get that this person. Let me say it this way, Green Palace. I get that this person, at least in current energy, has made up their mind to not back down on that yes. Okay, because they maybe need some patience. They may be quite defensive towards you, and or they're looking at you that way, like you're not, it's like, and I'm not coming for you, this is just the best description I can come up with on the fly, apparently. It's almost like if you had a group of people in a boat, and then you found out one day, like, okay, there's a boat, there's a hole in this boat, and then on top of it, either you found out or you just adamantly believe that, you know, person B out of all of these people in the boat was the one that bore that hole, you would most assuredly tell them to jump ship and remedy the situation. So you're being looked at as a problem that needs to be remedied, something that needs to be cut out currently. And I get that this person is really adamant about that being factual, irregardless of whether or not it is. Okay, so that's what I got for you, Green Palace. Much love and light, babe. You know what? You lose something, you get something better. How about that? Seriously. So Raymond Torres, you get 1 free question per live. You've already had a yes referable to your fiance apologizing. And so right afterwards, you ask if they'll contact. And I would just advise you to really ground, okay? Because I don't know if you're fearing that they'll never, you know what I mean? And if you're fearing, you're telling the universe, I don't want them to contact. I don't want my fiance. I don't want to have a good connection. And I know that's not your truth. So we're talking about it, okay? I say it with love. I'm not judging you. But you should be mindful not to self sabotage in spite of current energies being a little rocky. You want to make it worse by fearing, right? You've already received a positive yes, referable to the connection coming back around, you know, her apologizing. Please don't make room for fear. I mean, aren't you already going through enough? Makes sense, okay? All right. So Green Palace, basically what you're saying is that job's not good enough for you. And I'm standing here, or sitting here, excuse me, agreeing, right? So you guys, when you realize people, places, and things, inclusive of jobs, are not giving what you know you're worth, it's okay to let them go. It's maybe you stayed there too long and that's why this is coming up as an issue. And Divine's like, well, we didn't know how else to get you out of the job. It sucks for you. Right? Just saying. You guys are in charge to beautify your path. If you don't like your job, change it. Love and light, Raymond. I mean, it seems like you're already working too hard for what they're paying you, regardless of the pay. And money's not everything. If you're working a job that gives you oodles and oodles of money, Well, you'd like to think that's well and good, wouldn't you? Well, how about if simultaneously that particular job is stripping you of your mental health, your sanity, your well being? Is it worth the oodles of money? Wouldn't you have to turn around and hand them over to the next person, whether it's a doctor, a surgeon, a therapist? You know what I'm saying? So if you want to finish the season without being fired, find a new job and quit. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not worth trying to pretend anymore that any one thing, person, place, excuse me, inclusive of job, is the end all be all. You're too much to have one end all be all. You've got many. If you, excuse me, you've got many. If you were here for the session today, you would see that we were talking about the collective being afforded new beginnings in the multiples. We're not saying beginnings plural simply because it's a general collective message. The channeling was for each and every one out of the collective connecting to that message. And if you didn't check that out, you may want to. Just saying, hit the rewind or something. All, each, and on their own paths are receiving multiple new beginnings. You are to allow for it to happen with that divine feminine energy. No longer chasing, but attracting. Okay? Because you are worthy, because you are capable. Okay? So, that's what I have for you guys. Let me see if we've got everybody served up with their free tarot. Do one last cursory sweep, and then I gotta hop off here and start my day, you guys. Remember, attitude of gratitude will get you far. I think I'm just gonna call this one, you guys, moderators, and we're gonna just do it next month. I'll just be mindful to try to do it within the first 2 weeks. So let me know, email me which weekend you prefer for April, so we can get a time set up, and so everybody's on the same page, and so everybody's made themselves available, and so there's no confusion. Okay, and again, I'm speaking to my moderators. I do apologize for skipping out on this month. However, I'm sure you can understand that it wasn't my intent. Uh, things happen. Shots happen, So there's that. But I don't really want to force it because that might be the epitome of half-assing the session for the mods, and I'm not here to do that for anyone, especially my moderators, right? So I think we're just gonna chalk it up to email me your preference, whether weekend 1 or weekend 2 in April. Maybe we should do the weekend. Maybe we should do the first weekend in April. I don't know what the date is. Let me see what that is, so I can give you an actual number. So that would be the 5th, Saturday the 5th. If you guys, moderators, yeah, shots do happen, bruh. Dead ass. Moderators, give me an email, okay? I know y'all know how to do it. I know y'all can. Please and thank you, okay? Because I'm not taking time out of my weekend, like for anyone else besides you guys, right? It's not about me. So please communicate, all right? Shoot me an email. Let's talk about times for April 5th, if you can do that. If you can't for some reason, please let me know that as well. I'm not trying to like make it so that somebody misses out, okay? All right. So, do something nice for yourselves, you guys. Get grateful if you've checked and found out that maybe it's been a while since you last were, okay? There are all sorts of things, big and small, perhaps, to be grateful for. So, I don't want to hear anybody talking about, I couldn't, I tried to find. No, yeah, you can be grateful. You can be grateful for you not giving up, okay? You can be grateful for you trying again, at least. All right? You can be grateful for your breath, for the fact that your hearts are still beating, right? There's always something. And the more you look for those somethings, the more you've got to be grateful for. Okay, let me see here, eat me. But yeah, you guys watch that live. It wasn't even as long as it was not as long as it was supposed to be. Because it abruptly stopped, but I think it's 37. I think it's 37 minutes and 38 seconds. You start hearing all of them shots. So we've got yeses, yeses, yeses coming out for you. Eat me at the bottom of the deck. I cut the deck, just confirming. All right. And I'm looking at the Seven of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the celebratory Three of Cups. I cut the deck to the Judgment, which is also confirming that the yeses are giving yes. And bottom of the sword, or excuse me, bottom of the deck, Queen of Swords, also indicating yes for you. Eat me. Much love and light, you guys. I'm grateful for you. All right. In case you wondered, thanks for hopping on to another live stream with your girl. And thanks for loving and lighting me. And thanks for tips and donations. And thanks for supporting the channel by sharing. Someone actually shared a video the other day, and I was like, yes, thank you. That's what I want to see. And I think it's actually a newer collective member. So I'm like, what are you guys doing? No, let me stop. But I was just grateful. I was like, wow, somebody shared this. That's great. It's getting out there. So thank you for those that support the channel in whatever ways you are able and dream up to do. All right. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. Please be mindful to be nice to yourselves when you should pass a mirror. I want you to intentionally look into it, gaze into your own eyes, and smile, right? Give yourselves your energy. You deserve at least that much and so much more. And as you continue on the path, you will most assuredly receive so, so much more. They make cards about it. We talk about it a lot. Love and light, you guys.